I love how everybody's sleeping on the Miami Hurricanes this season. I saw On3 post a graphic on the socials a few days ago. They was like over under 9.5 wins for the Hurricanes. I go to the comment section, everybody's like, man, Miami is always the safe bet to bet the under on. Okay, bet the under on Miami this year if you want to, and you're going to lose a lot of money, because I'm trying to tell you folks that if there was ever a year for the Miami Hurricanes to live up to the high expectations, it is 2024. If you ain't sipping that orange and green Kool-Aid, you need to go ahead and get you some, because Miami's going to win the ACC championship this year. You get Cam Ward, the best quarterback out of the transfer portal. He's going to win, people. He is going to produce at a high level. When you look at the talent he's going to have around him, you're going to have a stacked wide receiving core, tons of talent, a lot of experience. You got Damian Martinez at running back. He was the second-rate running back out of the portal. You got a really good offensive line. This offense is going to cook everybody. I've seen people say that they could struggle week 1 against Florida because Cam Ward is going to be learning a new system, getting acclimated to new teammates. That's BS. This is the same system, Shannon Dawson, that he runs, that Cam Ward has been in for his last couple of stops. Even that Incarnate Word, whatever they call that university he was at before he went to Washington State, they ran the air raid system. Washington State ran an air raid system. There is not too many differences in the system that Shannon Dawson is running compared to what Cam Ward has played in his last couple of years playing college football. Defensively, you went heavy when it came to adding talent to the interior of the defensive line. You got a lot of good pass rushers, a lot of talent up front. This is going to be the best team that the Miami Hurricanes have had in a very long time. They don't have a tough schedule. Florida State isn't going to be as good as what people are hyping them up to be. Their 4 biggest games this year, week 1 on the road against Florida, you should win that one. You can say that Mario Cristobal isn't that good of a coach, but when you look at everywhere Mario Cristobal has been, his 3rd season is normally when his teams start to hit their stride. And not just that, but he has a really good coaching staff. You also are going up against a Florida team that right now, they're in a little bit of disarray. We don't know how good Billy Napier is. All we know is that Billy Napier hasn't proven the amount that Mario Cristobal has proven. Being able to win a conference title, being able to be a high-level recruiter, and being able to get guys into the NFL, being former first-round picks. Penei Sewell, Justin Herbert, all were first-rounders under Mario Cristobal's tutelage. Billy Napier, he isn't a good play caller. He's still calling the plays. His clock management is just as bad, if not worse, than what Mario Cristobal's is. It doesn't matter if Miami's playing in the swamp. They're used to the Florida heat. They're not too far away from Gainesville. It gets hot as hell down in South Florida too. Florida is not going to be a good team this year. Miami is not going to lose to Florida this year. I don't care if we said the same thing in 2019. You see, this is your problem. You see, what your problem is that you keep judging this year's Miami team based off previous year's Miami's team. And football isn't determined by history. It's determined by the team you have this year and what you have going into this season. Nobody gives a damn about what happened 10 decades ago. Nobody cares if Miami has consistently disappointed year in and year out. They said the same thing about Texas last year, and look what happened. They went to the playoffs. You said the same thing about Florida State last year, and look what happened. They got robbed of making it to the playoffs. You can't judge a team based off history. Miami is good enough to make it to the playoffs and potentially win a postseason game or two. This is a really good team with a really good roster, and they are easily the most talented team in the ACC going into this season. I'm really surprised that Miami has the 3rd best odds to win this conference behind Clemson and Florida State, when Florida State is replacing a lot of talent that they lost to the portal and to the NFL with a downgrade at quarterback, question marks at wide receiver. Clemson has a little bit of a question mark at quarterback themselves. We don't know how good their offense is going to be. There's way more reasons to be confident about Miami this year than there are when it comes to Florida State and Clemson. I get that Miami has to show it on the field this year, but I believe they will. They don't play too many tough games. Florida on the road is a win. Virginia Tech at home, that's a game that could be a tough one, but I could see Miami getting the win in that one. On the road against Jeff Brom in the upset master against Louisville, that's going to be tough. Then, of course, you got to play Florida State, but the ceiling for Miami is easily 12-0. But the floor for Miami is incredibly high. I don't see this being no more than a 2-loss team this year. That's how good Miami is. And if you're betting the under at 9.5 for Miami, I think you're making an incredibly huge mistake. You can't judge a team based off history because the games are not won and lost by what you've done in the past. It's based on the now, the present. Too many people make the mistake of living in recency bias. And if you're betting money, your hard-earned money that you worked for, you would think that you would be a little bit smarter with how you spend your money. Because if you're spending your money just saying, oh yeah, I'm just going to bet the under with Miami because they always underachieve, that's stupid logic. That's short bus logic. Because everybody knows that you don't get the same team every single year. There's always a year where people can surprise you. Based off that logic, if you bet the under on Texas last year, you look like a fool. Same thing if you bet the under on Mizzou and FSU. There are always teams in college football that come out of nowhere that turn it around. Making the mistake of not drinking the Miami Hurricanes Kool-Aid this year is a huge, huge mistake, and you're going to lose yourself a lot of money doing it this year. I already got money on Miami winning the ACC this year with a lot of folks on those Twitter spaces. A lot of FSU fans are really confident that DJ Uiagalelei is going to be able to get them win against Miami. I don't see that happening. Miami's going to win the ACC this year, man. I'm going to continue to stamp it. I'm going to continue to say it all off season because it's going to happen this year. This is the year that the Miami Hurricanes finally live up to the hype.